Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to my channel. It's your boy Luis Portelles, and for today's video, we have a very special one because this is gonna be a live stream, actually, guys. And I think like I have a lot of things to say that I wanted to talk about on the channel when it comes to everything that has been happening with Miss Grand International ever since the coronation night, when it comes to Miss Universe as well. And I was just kind of like in a lazy vibe. So I was like, instead of filming a video about it and editing and like spending hours and hours working on all of those things, I can probably just jump on a live stream and talk to you guys directly. So here I am, and as usual, my format for my videos. I want this to be an interactive experience. So of course, you guys are free to participate in the live chat or in the comment section, so that you can share your opinions as well about everything that we're gonna be touching. So before we start, I'm just gonna be double checking a few things. So first of all, I can see you guys in the live stream, but for some reason it's not populating on my screen by the side on my screen, but that's fine, I guess. I'll read you guys on the on the computer. Um but I guess that we're just gonna get started. The first thing that I wanted to talk about today, of course, is everything that has been happening with Miss Grand International, and I have been getting a lot of messages on my Instagram page, more precisely, because I feel like there's just so much going on that not everyone understands, where the issue started, why so many people unfollow the page, why right now there is a controversy with the graphic that was shown during the finals night of the show, as well as the controversy that is going on right now with Liz Garcia, who is Miss Grand International 2014, who was actually representing Cuba. And I've been sharing some messages about those things on my Instagram page as well. However, yeah, it seems like for the vast majority of people, this is still something that they don't necessarily understand completely. So I'm gonna break it down for you guys during this video. So let's start with the beginning. So the first thing that happened was, of course, we all know that after the coronation night of Miss Grand International, a lot of people had very mixed feelings about the outcome of the competition. And I'm going to precise this right here. They didn't have mixed feelings about the winner. I feel like Miss Brazil was such a deserving queen. I mean, absolutely 100% she deserved that spot. But a lot of people had questions about some of the favorite candidates of the competition not making it into the top 10 or into the top 20. Some people were talking about, for example, Miss Grand Nigeria, who performed so well since the beginning of the competition, and she did not get to move on to the top 10. And most people saw her already within the top 10. Lots of people were talking about Miss Dominican Republic, for example, or even Miss Philippines. But I think that the issue became like a major problem for the organization with the fact that Miss Vietnam was excluded. Because, okay, let's just face it. I feel like when it comes to, for example, Miss Nigeria, I personally got a lot of messages, people telling me, you know what, Luis, this is so sad because you worked so hard for it. However, I'm not surprised because, there's a history of African girls getting excluded from certain tops. For example, they will make the top 20, the top 20, but they will be excluded from the top 10. And therefore, it's a disappointment, but people kind of expected it. I feel like the biggest surprise was for Vietnam, because Vietnam not only had the reigning queen last year, but simultaneously it's a country that supported the pageant so fiercely when it comes to voting, when it comes to following, when it comes to even hosting the pageant next year. So you can only imagine to what degree Vietnam has been supporting MTI. So already the fact that their queen did not move on to the top 10 was very upsetting for most people. But a big part of the issue started and actually came when now what made some comments about their candidate with there's no other way to put it than body shaming. The comments were simply body shaming the candidate. So we're gonna talk about that, but I'm gonna show you guys the video that I am talking about so that you guys can see some evidence and judge for yourself. I'm not here to push my agenda or anything like that, but just to have a conversation about some of these things. So I'm just gonna bring the video on the screen, and you guys can watch it with me. Okay, there we go.
ตรงๆว่าทำไมถึงตกรอบเป็นคนเดียวในกองที่ลำตัวยาวกว่าและยาวกว่าช่วงล่างผมเห็นชัดเจนอยู่แล้วนะครับแล้วก็ตรงสะโพกก็ใหญ่ผมสามารถสเตทเมนต์ได้เมื่อจบการประกวดเพราะฉะนั้น20ในตำแหน่ง Power Country of the Year ดีแล้วแล้วก็ดีมากแล้วก็ได้เป็น Golden Grand Award สำหรับ PD ก็ดีที่สุดแล้วไม่รู้จะดีไปกว่านี้ได้ยังไงจะเอาบราซิลออกหรือเอาเวียดนามเข้าอ่ะพูดตรงๆจะเอาเจ้าภาพออกเหรอเพราะเจ้าภาพเขาก็สู้หัวชนฝาจะเอาอิงฟ้าออกเหรอ
Okay. Okay, so these are some of the consequences that, of course, we will be talking about this as well. But anyways, this is pretty much the video that came out of Nawad, talking about Miss Vietnam. And of course, as you can imagine, this has been all over the internet because he said that Vietnam was the only contestant whose back was longer than her body, and he also made reference to her hips. Where do I begin? Where do I begin? Okay, before I even start pronouncing myself about this, you guys go ahead in the live chat and send me your opinions as well. For some reason, as I said, I cannot see your comments so that I can bring them on the live stream, but I still can see you on the side. So I'm still reading you guys. Okay, people saying that Nawad just posted a statement on his Instagram account about it, and if someone can translate it. I think that I did see someone translating it. However, I think that the explanation was not. I wasn't necessarily satisfied with it. It just seemed like out of place, and like he was just trying to come up with excuses. But, anyways, um, personally, well, I always like to be fair and consider all sides of the story. And the first thing that I'm going to say is that now what clearly has a language barrier. Okay. So when this man tries to express himself in English, I feel like a lot of the time he fails at it. Like he's able to get the message across, but not in a way that is very eloquent or in a way that he is able to pick the best words to describe precisely what he wants to say. So I'm not saying that that this was not on purpose, but what I'm saying is that I don't know if sometimes he realizes the impact of his words. I don't know if that makes sense for you guys. However, this is not okay. It's never okay, even if it was like a misstep for you to go out of your way and say that Vietnam did not make the top because of her body or because of the way that she looks or whatever. Because already what you're doing right there is that, first of all, you are completely alienating a group of people, an entire group of women who might have like a similar body type. And at the same time, the message that you're sending and putting out there is that you can only have one type of body type if you want to be successful at MGI. And that's already right there, that's already problematic because nowadays when most pageants are trying to move more towards inclusivity and making sure that they are empowering for women, you're still kind of like stuck in your old ways of, oh, I only like, this type of girls or this shape of bodies. And I don't know, it just seems very, very problematic for me. Because of that, as some of you guys were seeing on the video, I'm just going to bring it back for a moment. They had towards the end of it some of the consequences. So um, this is, I believe, like a person, like a public figure in Vietnam who said that she was going to go on a live stream and was going to start talking about body shaming, more precisely, because of course this is something that they don't accept, especially after Vietnam has been such a supportive country towards Miss Grand International. Same thing. We see here that Via Travel Airlines canceled sponsor for Miss Grand International in Vietnam because they don't support defaming women's bodies. And I believe that this was one of the main sponsors when it comes to traveling with the airline for next year. So I think that I don't know if this is going to trigger other sponsors dropping out of the competition, but it just shows that sometimes your words and your actions have consequences. You know, it doesn't matter how powerful you think you are, it doesn't matter how invincible you think you are, you're able to say whatever you want. You know, I believe in freedom of speech. However, it's not because you can say it that there will be no consequences at the end of it. And I think that Nawat is gonna kind of learn that the hard way, the difficult way. Okay, so getting back on track. And before we move on to the next point that I wanted to touch, I just want to say hi, everyone. I jumped on the live stream and I was like so into it. I just wanted to get to the chismes, and I even forgot to say hi. But hello, everyone. I see you on the side. As I said, it's not letting me bring up a lot of the a lot of the comments. Only some of them are showing on my side. But I want to say thank you guys for joining. Thank you for being here. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and just be part of the conversation as well. Thank you for being here. Uh, Salvatore is saying we are here for chismes. Hit the like button if you are a chismosa as well. Please go ahead. All right. So let's get back on track. Because of this, as we said, what happened immediately after the coronation night and immediately after these allegations came out is that a lot of people started unfollowing Miss Grand International on social media. But before we talk about all of the unfollowing, I think that we have to acknowledge the phenomenon that we witnessed for the past few days. Okay, because if you recall, just a few weeks ago, Miss Grand International had how many followers on Instagram? From what I remember, back in the day, it was something around like the 1 million mark, maybe like 1.2 million, 1.3 million, I don't know. But in a matter of days, and I'm going to say days because it took probably 2 to 3 days for them to get on the upper side of 6 million. But I remember that in a matter of like 24 hours, they went from like 2 million followers to over 4 million followers. And then they even exceeded the number of followers that Miss Universe had at that particular point. So that was something that, in my opinion, most people within the pageant community were not expecting. I definitely was not expecting Miss Grand International to exceed, the biggest pageant in the world, um, so quickly in such a short amount of time. Um, and this kind of brought the conversation of, is the Miss Grand International organization buying followers? Are these bots? And of course, everyone has their own opinion when it comes to the organization. But personally, although I'm very harsh with them, I like to be fair. Okay, and based on the things that I saw on their account, I don't think that they were necessarily buying followers. I think that actually the followers were legitimate, because when I looked at the engagement on the posts, the number of likes, the number of comments was actually like, it made sense. For example, when you go on Instagram and you have these accounts of people who have, like, I don't know, 10 million followers, but when you look at their likes, they have like 1,000 likes, and it's like somehow like the math is not mathing, like it's not adding up. But I don't think that Miss Grand International had that problem. My belief is that they gained so much traction and so many followers in such a short amount of time because of the voting system that they had for this particular pageant. I don't know if you guys were invested to that extent, but in order for your votes to be counted, meaning that if you wanted to support your national delegate or any candidate that you wanted to support during the competition and you wanted to vote for them, you had to follow Miss Grand International on social media. And the votes counted more if you voted directly on Instagram. And that is why the number of followers increased so drastically on Instagram overnight. This was something that happened pretty much within like 24 hours. Um, and of course, as you can imagine, lots of people coming to the pageant, lots of people supporting, lots of people boosting your numbers. There is also an expectation. People are not just going to follow and give you all of this visibility and all of this cloud if they didn't have an interest at the end of the line. And I think that the interest in question was necessarily that they wanted their candidate to place high in the competition. So, of course, as we just mentioned, so the final show happened. Um, we had this situation with Nawat body shaming Miss Vietnam, and then we see that drastically within a day, the number of followers goes down by more than 2 million followers, which I also think that in the history of pageantry, at least in pageants, this is the biggest drop in terms of following that we have ever experienced. I'm going to share with you guys once again here on the screen. This is also posted by Pageantology, our friends on Facebook. Just to give you a little idea of what I'm talking about. So I believe that the numbers are even worse at the moment. Um, okay. So, okay. So here you can see it. Um, I think that the highest that their page got was 6.5 million. And then over a very short amount of time, the number of followers of MGI dropped to here on this photo, you can see 4.9 million. But the last time I checked, they were down to 4.4 millions. So you can definitely see that the audience was not amused by the tactics. The audience was not having it. And I think that it says a lot about the organization and how they should perhaps um, handle that themselves in the future, especially if they're going to have these tactics that require people to vote, that require people to follow them, that require people to buy things in order to support their candidates. Um, I think that this must have been a real hit for the organization because, I mean, already they've been claiming that they are the number one pageant in the world for a while. You know, even the slogan of the organization, Miss Grand International, one and only, self-proclaiming themselves as the number one pageant in the world. And now that they definitely had the numbers as well, because they were the most followed pageant in the world simultaneously, I believe that they got a little bit too comfortable with that, um, because they just started, attacking Miss Universe, which is another topic that we're going to be touching during this live stream. But quickly after the coronation night, simultaneously as their numbers were dropping, the numbers for Miss Universe were actually increasing. So that is the other side of the coin. Miss Universe, who was sitting at 4.9 million followers for a while, actually increased their number of followers to 5.1 millions organically without any special tactics, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so I think that that's very important to keep in mind. Um, and I'm trying to go with these different points to kind of like give you, the entire story. And this brings me to the graphic that was shown during the coronation night at MGI. But in the meantime, please, while I plug here the video, let me know in the chat, how do you feel about this? The opinions? Do you agree? Do you think that the tactics are what they are supposed to be? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Just bring in here the video. So I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna just let you watch it, and I will be back on the screen after that. Okay. So here we go. Okay. So I don't know what was going through your mind when you first saw this graphic, but I personally just thought to myself, the ghetto. Because this is definitely like a personal attack when it comes to um, Miss Universe. I know that there were kind of like mixed reactions. Of course, the fanatics, the people who love and support Miss Grand International, were quite happy with it, understandably, because it represents a lot. But you know, I personally felt like it was unnecessary because of a lot of things. And the main thing for me is that, a little competition is not bad. Like it's actually quite healthy if you have competition because it pushes you to become a better version of yourself. So the fact that Miss Grand International keeps on sending this message that they have crashed Miss Universe, that they are better than than Miss Universe, that they are the number one pageant in the world, without actually having like the history, without having built that legacy, without having built, you know, um, left behind like the amount of work, the queens, I don't know, the philanthropy, like all of the work that Miss Universe has done as an organization, for you to just come out and be like, hey, by the way, no, 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 I am the number one pageant in the world because I say so. I am self-proclaimed. For me, it seems a little bit desperate, like they lack a little bit of confidence. It's a lack of class, it's a lack of self-worth. And once again, I'm going to say this one more time. I know that I'm very critical of Miss Grand International. I know that whenever they do something wrong, I'm the first one to be there like, this is not good. But this is actually advice, this is actually free advice. Like, if you guys want to become the number one pageant in the world, if you want to excel, if you want to be seen as the reference when it comes to pageantry, you have to start acting like that. you know by you coming up with these tricks and these little things about crashing Miss Universe, and that's not how you get it. When you want respect, you must earn it, you must work for it, you must prove yourself and show people why they should respect you, rather than just going out there and being like, you must respect me because I am the number one pageant in the world. I'll give you that. Miss Grand International, as of today, they have the best production for any pageant. Those of you who were here on the channel, you know that I reacted live to the entire thing. I loved the production. I was dancing to Madonna. They had Madonna, they had Fifth Harmony, they had Lady Gaga. I mean, you had all of those, you had me. That's what I'm saying. I am so happy with the production of it. But then they always come out with the little tricks, with the little things that are going to create a controversy and that are going to take away the attention from the amazing event that they just put together. For me, that was quite sad. And for me, that was really, really, really a shame because I thought that they had such a great opportunity that right after that coronation night, that final show, as well as the preliminary competition, that was a wake up call for most pageants. Like, people who were running other pageants around the globe where like their jaws were on the floor because the level of professionalism, the level of production, just like the hosting, the graphics, everything was on point. But then you come up with this and it was like, cha. Anyway, so I don't know how you guys feel about the graphic. I personally, I'm someone, I look, I care about a lot of things. I care about the meaning of words, I care about the symbolism, I care about subtle messages. So for me, this was completely out of place, unasked for, unnecessary, you name it. But of course, this brings me to the other point that I wanted to talk about when it comes to this entire coronation night. And I think I'll just bring back the video very quickly because I just want to show you. Okay, towards the end of the video, after the graphics. So, okay, right here, you can see like the world. All right, and then Miss Universe. Bam! Crashed by MGI. Okay. And then they switched to the logo of the organization with the 10th anniversary. So you will see it in a few seconds. There you go, MGI 10. All right. And then you will see that queens start coming out. Okay. All right. Are you following me up until now? Are we still on the same page? I'm trying to get you right here your attention for my storytelling, okay? So bear with me. So, okay, so they post all of this during the coronation night, and later on, after the coronation night was done, the final show, they already had crowned their new girl, their new queen, and everything. They post that clip on their Instagram page. And one of their queens, Liz Garcia, Miss Grand International 2014, who was actually a host for a lot of the events this year. So she wasn't just there as one of the previous queens. I mean, they did extend an invitation to all of the queens minus one. But Liz wasn't just there representing her year. She was actually there under contract as a host, as a part of the entire celebration of the 10th anniversary. She went on Instagram and she expressed, she explicitly told the organization that she did not want to be seen next to that particular graphic. And of course, as you can imagine, the organization coming up with such a strong message, posting it during their coronation night, and then reposting it on social media, and having one of their previous title holders say that they don't agree with that, that kind of stirred the pot. A lot of people, it was immediately on all of the pageant pages, and people were complaining, and people were like, oh my God, she's on the right side. And the MGI fans were like, oh my God, she is bashing the organization. Anyways, all of that to say that I'm going to show you the message, and I'm going to give you some clearance around what happened, because immediately after the comment happened, Liz Garcia's account disappeared from Instagram. She had an account with over 80,000 followers. She had a verified account as well. And then suddenly, whoop, she's no longer there. She's gone. Okay, so I'm just gonna. Just bear with me. Okay. Okay, here we go. So I'm just gonna share my screen. On the side, wrong button. Chrome. Okay, so here we are. Okay, the message is small on the screen, but I'm gonna try to zoom in if possible. If not, I will read it for you. I think it's just gonna be easier. So Liz left a sad emoji on the post with exactly the graphic that I was showing you, and she mentioned, I specifically said I did not want to be associated with this graphic, and yet here we are. I want to clarify publicly that although I respect my organization and accept their decisions, um, this does not go with my values in any capacity, and it is important for me to announce that publicly. Thank you for all your support, and I stand against bullying in all capacities. Let's be better. Let's do better. Let's conquer. Love conquers all. Thank you. Okay, so as you can imagine, one of the reigning queens, their previously reigning queens, complaining about this move from the organization already had everyone feeling some type of way. On top of that, her account disappearing, people started, assuming what's going on. Is her account hacked? Has she been like banned from the platform? Did she delete her account? Well, actually, I know people who are very, very close to Liz, so I wanted to go and double check with them, just to make sure that she was okay. So I'll show you once again something that I did share on my Instagram, just to clear the air around Liz Garcia. Just going back to my account. Okay, I see one of you guys commenting, Kim Jun Soo, saying, anyways, business business is just a business, and good or bad, publicity is still publicity. You know what? I'm actually going to agree with you. I feel like, if anything, it's a smart move from the organization to, you know, put things out there that they know that will bring attention. But on the same breath, I'm going to say not all attention is good attention, because sometimes it is very, very easy to just like tarnish your reputation. Like, organizations work really, really hard to achieve um like a certain visibility and build like a certain following and be perceived in a certain way, and you can literally destroy that in a matter of hours. um okay, so I have here the message. These are the things that I was able to confirm with my sources, which I don't want to unveil because, of course, um I don't want to get anyone in trouble. But this is coming from people who were able to talk to Lise after her account was banned. Okay, so some facts that I have been able to confirm from sources close to Liz Garcia. Number one, her account is not hacked or blocked. She deactivated it because of the huge amount of hate that she was getting after the statement against the MGI graphic. As you can imagine, you go against MGA being one of the previous queens. The message is clear. The fans are going to come for you. And that's exactly what happened. Before the final show, she explicitly told the organization that she did not want to appear next to the graphic and did not want her image utilized to promote such message, since it goes against her values. The organization still aired the clip right before the 9 MGI queens walked out on stage, and later reposted it on their different social platforms. As I just show you guys, on the video, there was the clip, MU being crashed by MGI. After that, they transitioned to the logo, and after that, all the 9 queens walk out. She had mentioned that she did not want to be seen on stage at the same time as the clip, but they still did it, and later on, they reposted it on their social media. Moving on. During the event, most people did not blame the queens for walking out right after the clip aired, but after the clip was reposted on social media earlier, that's when the cyberbullying started. And this is why I think it's a big issue, for not only for Lise, but for the girls themselves, because first of all, I was watching the event on the live stream, and when I saw it, I was just like in shock. I didn't think much of it, but later on, um, when the clip was posted on social media, there's two things that happen. So the ones that do not agree with the graphic, what they do is that they start attacking the queens because they come right after it on the video. But at the same time, what happens is that those who actually do agree also start bullying Lise because she mentioned that she did not agree with it. So you're in a position where you cannot really win. It doesn't really matter if you agree with it, or if you want to support it, or if you don't, you're still getting bullied from all ends. The next point is that Liz Garcia is retired from pageantry. She is an independent businesswoman and has built a career outside of MGI. Social media stunts like this one only hurt her business and her public image, and that is why she did not want to be seen next to the graphic. She worked with MGI under contract to celebrate the pageant's 10th anniversary, and she also served there as a host for some of the events. As a matter of fact, many people praised Lise for her hosting skills and for how she elevated the event that she was a part of. So, I mean, as you can imagine, you being a businesswoman or like any sort of entrepreneur, anything that is attached to your personal image can easily hurt your income streams. And I really wanted to mention this, that she's retired from pageantry. She is not associated to MGI anymore, in the sense that she doesn't get a paycheck from MGI every single month. Yes, she was under contract because they hired her to do a job and she took it. So she went to Indonesia, she hosted the events, she was there because she was one of the previous queens. But once that contract is done, she is back to her normal life, businesswoman, the hustle. And with all of this negative drama that is coming out of it, that is also definitely going to hurt her brand as well. So that's where, the biggest issue was. Moving on, this is why she left a comment expressing her disappointment after seeing the graphic. I made a mistake right there. After seeing the graphic reposted on social media, followed by all of the queens walking out on stage, she did not want to be attached to this controversy and all of the hate she is now getting. Once again, it's a thing of going against your values, but simultaneously not wanting to take the heat for something that you mentioned before that you did not want to do in the first place. Currently, she's on the way back home, and her profile will remain deactivated until further notice. So this was actually posted yesterday. She was already on the plane going back to the US. I'm guessing that at this point she must be back home, but her profile wasn't hacked, wasn't deleted or something. She deactivated it because of the messages. And here's the other thing that I wanted to mention, guys. And the last thing here on this point is that rather than spreading hate, let's support and uplift women. Let's support and uplift a woman who was not scared to speak up for herself and stood up after her request was ignored. You know, we talk about empowering women in pageantry and giving them a voice and giving them a safe place to have a platform. But you know, when it matters the most, when we actually need to support them, when a woman comes out against all odds and against all the fans, and she is has the courage to state her position and stand up and speak for herself, I think that that's when people should be praising her and people should, um, give her props and she'll try to, by all means, protect her. And I just think it's so sad that she felt the need to protect herself and she received so much hate that she needed to deactivate her Instagram page. You know, for someone who works as a business person, for someone who works as an influencer and who has this type of deals as well, deactivating your social media, that is affecting your income. So the way that I see it, Liz Garcia right now is being affected financially because of all of the drama going on with the graphic and MGI and all of that. So I don't know how you guys feel about all of that. That was kind of a long chismis. My intention was to be on the topic of MGI for perhaps like 15 minutes and then move on to Miss Universe. But yes. And one of the other messages I wanted to pass before we move out of this topic, because I also want to talk about um, Miss Universe. I just wanted to share with you guys also something that I shared on my page yesterday. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram, what are you doing? Go follow me on Instagram. Look, Luis Portelles. Just go there, follow me. Okay, so I shared this reel yesterday, and it's nothing special. It's just very simple reel. But I just wanna talk about the message behind. So I think that it's important for us as pageant fans and people who are in this world of beauty and glam and who support the ladies before we turn the page and move on to the next topic, because tomorrow something else is going to happen, a new drama, and we're going to be, on to the next one. We forget about all of this. I think that we also need to remind ourselves to support the pageants that actually have been there for a while, that have built a reputation and a legacy because of the work that they have been doing. So my ask from people yesterday on my page was that before we move on, can we all come together and follow Miss Universe, Miss International, Miss Earth, Miss Supranational, Miss World, and show them some support? I mean, what you have to do is pretty much go and follow their pages, engage with their content, support and encourage their candidates. It's definitely not that hard. It's like, I know that a like on social media seems like nothing, but for the people who are putting out the content and creating it and putting hours of studying and preparation just to come up with it, I think that it makes a huge difference. So if you're not following those pageants, please go ahead and do it. I know that they are not perfect. By no means I'm saying that, oh, these five pageants are perfect, they have never made a mistake and there is nothing that they should change or improve on. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is that over and over again, it's like it's been a few years that I am getting uh, like a headache with Miss Grant and all of that and self-proclaiming, and I'm just like, you know what, we should show some love and some respect for those who have been there for a while and been doing it. So I am going to close that chapter when it comes to Miss Grand International. And I want to talk to you guys briefly about Miss Universe, because there are some very exciting news that just came out when it comes to Miss Universe. I'm sure that all of you have seen it all over. The internet is literally everywhere. You cannot escape from it. But let me just bring it here on the screen once again. Oh my God. Who am I? I can be like a host. I can start my own podcast now. I am sharing content on my screen. If you guys knew how long it took me to actually be comfortable to just go live, it took me forever, but here I am. So, Lord Jesus, please help me to get the name right. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so we are on the page of, by the way, Miss You Updates. Shout out, Miss You Updates. We love your page so much. Thank you for keeping us updated. But breaking news, Thai business mogul and Jakrajutatip. Jakrajutatip is the new owner of the Miss Universe organization. I know that for a lot of people, this comes as being a surprise. Actually, to be honest, I was getting messages about this even this morning, because if you've been on my channel for a while, you might remember that a few weeks ago I posted a video after the New York Post article that came out saying that Miss Universe was up for sale. I posted a video saying that we shouldn't jump to conclusions so easily, right? We need to have a critical thinking, and that article just seemed like very Mm. There was something wrong with it. There was a lot of bashing. There was a lot of the choice of words that not sit well with my soul. And because of that, I was kind of like doubting that maybe it's just a rumor. Maybe it's just something that they manufactured to give Miss Universe a negative visibility. So, but yes, I thought that if someone was going to buy Miss Universe, Miss Anne was definitely one of the potential buyers. But there were so many things being said, like, oh, it cannot be sold to a foreign entity. It needs to be like an American organization, and the price that they're asking is too high. Well, anyways, it seems like Miss Anne bought the organization for a total of $20 million. Miss Anne, how to be you po? Sana all. $20 million. And this is the first time I'm going to say that, first of all, a foreign entity owns Miss Universe. The first time that a woman is the owner, 100% owner of the pageant, of the organization, and also the first time that a transgender person owns the pageant. So I think that we can all agree that we are pretty much witnessing history in the making when it comes to not only Miss Universe, but pageantry overall. I wanted to share with you guys a video that was posted earlier today on the Miss Universe page. And this is pretty much unveiling the new concept around Miss Universe and what we can expect in the future from the pageant. Of course, this edition that will happen in January is still being produced by IMG, I believe. But the next one in 2023 is being produced by JKN. So here's the video. I will see you right after that. Okay. Okay, so I don't know how you guys feel about that. I thought that I was gonna have a technical problem for a second and I was not gonna be able to come back, but here I am. I did survive. I don't know how you feel about that, but personally, watching that video makes me feel very, very, very excited. And you know that it's real when we have Donald Trump up here in the comment section saying, "Bitches, my era was the best." I think you're jealous, Donald Trump. So please take several seats. I am here for the JKN era. I see some of you guys in the comments talking about how much the deal was worth. I'm just gonna share with you guys real quick my source. So of course I'm not going against what you guys are saying, but I'm just saying that I saw something else. And if you have other sources that might prove me wrong, please by all means go ahead and share them. But actually, I found this on NBC News, which is a partner broadcaster of JKN. So I believe this is pretty legitimate. And it literally says transgender businesswoman buys Miss Universe pageant for $20 million. This is NBC News. So I'm not sure. I've seen some reports saying 14 million, some reports saying 20 millions, but I thought this one was legitimate based on the fact that, you know, it's a partner of the organization. And the last thing that I want to go through during this live stream is just to literally share with you some of the key points, the things that we can expect from the upcoming Miss Universe. So, and after that, you guys can voice your opinions in the comments. So let me just bring it on. Okay, there we go. All right. So, some of the key changes that we can expect. Um, New crown by Moad. Actually, this was announced earlier today. At least I saw the announcement earlier today, so I think that's exciting. New crown means, lots of new glam, lots of new things coming to the pageant. So this is very, very symbolic. Looking for a transformational leader. So I think that this is important because up until now, I believe that we have been looking for a a communicator, like someone who is able to communicate with the audience, pass a certain message. But a transformational leader for me has a lot more impact in someone who can inspire people to actually make a change. So I like that approach. Miss Universe cosmetic brand. It was about time. I mean, I think that we can all come up with like probably at least 5 ways that Miss Universe, the current organization, could have monetized better their platform to make it a bit more profitable. So I'm glad to see that Miss Anne is coming up with a lot of different ideas to make the pageant, a little bit more profitable. Private jets and penthouses for the winner. Listen, listen. If we're gonna step up, we better step up for real, for real. And I want to see my queen flying all over the place in her private jet. I want her to have different penthouses. I want her to have a spa. I want her to have, sponsors and deals. And please, let's treat the queens like queens. Possibility of Road to the Crown reality show. I kind of saw this coming. I kind of saw this coming because a lot of different countries have been trying this format of, a reality show. But more precisely, I mean, Miss Universe Thailand, they had a reality show last year, and in my opinion was successful because it brings the candidates really, really close to the audience. So I'm excited to see what that reality show would look like for the Miss Universe competition. Gala event on November 7th with some of the MU winners. So soon we will have an actual event organized by the new management, so the new owners of the organization, where they will share more details about what is yet to come. They will have some of their previous queens as well. And I think that we're going to find out a lot more. But honestly, to me, it looks very, very promising. And also, they just announced their new creative director, Mr. Town Chacha Balbon. Chacha Balbon. So there you go. Child, there's been a lot of things that I wanted to talk about on this video. Actually, I thought this was going to be a live stream for literally like 20 to 30 minutes, maximum 40 minutes, and I've been rambling almost for an hour. So for those of you who are who are watching up until now, thank you. I love you. Thank you for staying. Don't forget to hit the like button. I see that we are at 785 likes at the moment. Can we get it to 100 likes? And if we can get to 150 likes, even better. If you guys want to have more content or even more of a personal approach to me, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, which is at Luis Portelles on Instagram. I do read my DMs. I post a lot more often on Instagram as well. And a lot of things that I don't get to share on YouTube, I just post them on my Instagram. So if you guys want to follow me, please go ahead and do that. And as usual, you guys, I appreciate your time. Thank you for staying with me at the end. Any comments, opinions that you might have, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. I will be reading all of those because I was really excited to share these things with you. And I will see you. I will see you soon with more content. I have new videos coming out this week. And by the way, if you have any requests for new videos, let me know in the comment section as well. Because sometimes your boy is running out of inspiration. But yes. Anyways, thank you. I love you guys. And I will see you on the next one. Bye, Mare.